name's Stewart Bertram. I'm the head of cyber threat intelligence here at Elemendar, and I'm going to be taking you through a short demonstration of our flagship tool, which is Read. So the objective of Read is to structure unstructured data. So take, for example, this CISA report here. This was a pretty pivotal report that came out in 2022, talking about Russian state-sponsored cybercriminal threats to critical infrastructure. Great report, really well written, but unstructured in its nature. So as you can see, it's thousands of words, and there's lots of good, useful intelligence inside of there. It just needs to be put into a structured format for onward transit into a threat intelligence platform. And that's where Read comes in. So let's have a look at how we would go about doing this. So this is the Read interface, and Read runs in two ways. It runs in a desktop application, as you see here, running inside any standard web browser, or it runs in a headless fashion, which is via an API in the back end if you would like to run it at scale. Essentially, the way the system works is by taking in a number of text-based formats. So we have URL, text, or files, either PDF or HTML files. In this case, we're going to be using a URL. So we take the URL from the CISA advisory. We can call it whatever we want, but I'm going to call it the same name. And then we can add it to the queue. Okay, so what we can see here is the document has now been passed into the first of the three columns that you see in Read. So we have for review, reviewing, and completed. So let's jump into this document and see what we can see. So what we can see here from this top bar here is just a quick snapshot of the entity types, all according to the sticks format that have been pulled out of the document. So we've got 109 MITRE attack techniques, one course of action, 248 identities, 15 indicators, and 51 intrusion sets. What you can see here is the weighting of this report is clearly looking at that sort of strategic level of techniques that this group is using. What you can see here is this is the text from the report that has been pulled into Read, and the highlighting is the sticks entity types that have been pulled out by the MITRE extraction. Another way to visualize this is to have a look at the sticks graph. And what this does is basically just give you a quick overview of the flavor of the type of report that you're seeing here. So again, this is pretty light on indicators of compromise, but it's quite heavy on intrusion sets and different attack groups that are being used in this area. Moving back to the document, it's at this point that you can start editing the document and start to manipulate the extraction. So all these extractions are automatic. However, you do have the power to add extraction entity types or remove them. So take, for example, if I didn't want the United States within there, I could click on that, and I could accept or reject that as a relationship. In this case, I'm going to select always reject, and at that point, from this document onwards, the United States will be rejected from the extraction. It will not be counted inside of that extraction. Of course, I might want to manipulate that and add in things within the extraction. So take, for example, this abbreviation, National Cybersecurity Center. So if I would like to annotate that, these are all the sticks entity types that I can pick. But say, for example, I wanted to use that as an identity, for example, a group. So you'll notice down here, this little pop-up keeps coming up, and this is one of the new features, which is this idea of custom rules. We'll get onto custom rules in a minute. However, that is the basic editing of the extraction that can be done inside of Read. You can edit relationships as well. And this is the primary function of the sticks graph inside of Read. And all of the relationships that are associated with each of these entity types can be edited, they can be removed, they can be created inside of the user interface. Back to the main dashboard, what we can now see is the report has now moved from the reviewing column into this secondary column here for reviewing. And I've got the power to manipulate these reports as I go. So take, for example, this report. I added that earlier. I can drop into this and analyze that report. For example, I wasn't particularly happy with the name. I can change that. So, and there. Or if I'm just not happy with the report, I can remove it. Speaking of the additional feature that we were looking at earlier in regards to the custom rules, what the custom rules are is essentially a way that you can specify to read to always or never extract a certain piece of text as a certain entity type. This is a powerful feature that allows you to create almost a house style for entity types and rules you move through read and using it. The way that you access this is by clicking on the drop down here and clicking on rules. And as you can see, there's the rule that I just created in regards to the United States, and that will override the machine learning extraction. With all of these rules, I have the option to enable or disable them. I also have the option to remove them if I would like to tidy up that space as well. You can see also as well, I can change the function of whether to annotate or to not annotate that rule based upon the text within that component. And what you can see is you can quickly build up a strong library of custom rules that can be added into the extraction. One of the final components that people often ask is, can you combine documents inside of read? And the answer is yes, you can. The way that we do this is via the use of the documents collections. And as you can see, here's 3 document collections that I created earlier. The way that this works is essentially you create a document collection and then you add documents to that collection. And this does not change the underlying metadata inside of there. So take, for example, this report up here has 6 documents inside it. This Conti document has 3 reports inside it. And we can visualize it like so. Another feature is the ability to download a attack navigator layer. What this does is takes all the tactics, techniques, and procedures inside of that document collection, downloads them as a MITRE attack navigator layer that can then be taken forward and placed into the MITRE attack navigator external to read. These documents can then be taken forward and pulled out of any collection. Or added to any collection. And as ever, if you would like any help on any of this, there's a handy help button in the bottom right. Thank you for your attention, and I will see you on the next one.